going live in 3.
I just tell him that his acting is horrible. And if he didn't know, I said this heavy, fly. When we stand alone, we stand together, stand strong. I let the politicians do it all.
All right, what is going on, guys? It is Adam, a.k.a. Marf, and this is Marfoogle TV. Right into it, of course, the commander of the Greenland base was just let go. But why? Again, with this, I think that she didn't let Vance off base. I honestly think that she is from the last admin's kind of time period. And this is because of former stories that came out in 2020 and 2021, essentially, talking about her during those periods. I honestly think the whole story about him not being able to leave the base and going and being taken into city and everything else, it made great headlines for people that didn't like Vance, that basically the town didn't want him, that Greenland didn't even want him off the base. But was that just the commander? But that's just my opinion. We're going to talk about it here in just a second. Plus, we have Iran, huge updates. We're, of course, right in the cusp and in the midst of World War III. So we'll talk about all the changes, the Patriots going to the Middle East. We'll even talk about Ducey getting deuced, getting hit by a bird strike right on live TV. We'll be right back right after this. Nothing in this show should be considered legal, medical, or financial advice. The views of the callers can differ considerably and do not necessarily reflect my opinion, Dex's opinion, or anyone else who works with the show. You should always do your own research and consult with professionals. The internet is full of fake news, so please take everything with a grain of salt. If you have not already, it helps us out if you end up going through any of our affiliates, and it helps you out if you end up protecting yourself against cybercrime. NordVPN is one of the best and one of the easiest to use. If you do not have a virtual private network, it protects your IP address, which is your online identity, which actually connects to your real address and everything else. It also connects to you. If you know anything about how they are data logging and basically getting your profiles down, you can prevent that by having a VPN. Nord is, again, one of the easiest. Download it. It's like an on switch and off switch. All you have to do. Go to marfooglenews.com/VPN. Not only will you get a giant discount on this, but you will also be helping us. I appreciate your support, and I appreciate everyone that goes through any of our affiliates. Can't say thank you enough. All right, so again, U.S. military removes commander of Greenland base after the Vance visit. Of course, you saw the headlines. Vance was not allowed in Greenland. They didn't want him back. They said, make America go away again. The kind of stuff we just were talking about on Marfoogle News. And then, of course, we have, it says, although the military did not say why the colonel had been dismissed, it did say, according to this and attached to this, it said it would not tolerate any subversion of President Trump's agenda. I mean, what does that say? I mean, that pretty clearly tells you that in some way she subverted or stopped or did something while Vance was there to subvert it, right? So, I mean, obviously, it's pretty clear what happened here. She is the military, and him as the vice president, she actually had the right and kind of the power to be like, you can't leave the base. It's not safe. She could do something like that. Then they find out that they did it as a joke or they did it because they're being told. She gets dropped. Now, I'm not saying that's exactly what happens. That's just my opinion. Again, Mrs. Parnell, or I'm sorry, what's her face? Colonel Susanna Myers was announced in a statement by the U.S. Space Force that was posted on social media by Sean Parnell that she was let go or released, right? And of course, while the statement didn't cite a specific reason, they said, Mr. Parnell said that actions to undermine the chain of command or to subvert President Trump's agenda will not be tolerated. Pretty clear what the hell happened. What is your opinion? Let me know in the comments down below. All right, and then let's bring my co-host/internet brother, Dex James. What is going on, and how are you doing today?
Well, hello, Adam, and hello, Foogle fam. I'm doing just fine. Yeah, apparently email got her.
Oh, really? So, again, with this, it's like, I want to read the email. If she hates the current president, I'm just surprised because last 4 years, anybody that actually supported the president they kind of did this whole thing when they were saying that he was around the 6th. They were basically testing if anybody liked this guy, they were let go. We did that whole video on lack of confidence. Remember that? They were releasing any kind of, Trump supporting staff member under a lack of confidence. I mean, we're talking about generals and, way up there, high-ranking officials were let go for lack of confidence. And it was mostly all of the people that we looked up, all these headlines. Just look up lack of confidence, military, and you'll find a ton of articles about all of these people, 2020 through 2024, being released. And it's like almost all of them, you go to their LinkedIn or we dug, right? You could see public support statements for the president. And all of a sudden they're let go after 25, 30 years. It's crazy. Dex, go ahead.
Yeah, she sent an email to the entire base, basically saying to them in not this, we don't have these specific words, but what they told us was that she had said, "Hey, I'm not like the views of JD Vance and Trump are not the views of the leadership here," which is very political. Like, you're supposed to be apolitical. You're supposed to not get engaged in any of that, and you're supposed to treat the superiors as the superiors, and you just fall in line and everything stays neutral. So by sending that email out, and they confirmed that the email was legit, it was sent by her, and it was sent to the entire base from her, saying that she was distancing herself from the positions of the vice president and the president. That's why she got canned.
I'm sorry. Do the words commander-in-chief have nothing in your head rattling around that says that you're supposed to just say, okay, yes, sir, no, sir? It's like Mark Milley saying, oh, yeah, hey, G, yeah, no, don't worry about it. If Donald nukes you, I'll totally give you a heads up. I'll call you. In fact, I'm in between him and the button, so don't worry about it, brother. Oh, yeah, I will catch you at golf. Over at your sister's house. Yeah, okay. Yeah. All right. Bye. Oh, what was that? No, Susan's doing great. Yeah. Uh-huh. Oh, no, we thank you for the gifts. We got the BMWs. Thank you so much. And speaking of weird, creepy things, over on Google Maps, you can spot a odd triangle obelisk. It's literally an obelisk. I don't know if you could call this an obelisk because I think the obelisk has to have the pointed top, right? This thing is spooky, and it's on Area 51. Dex, do you want to talk about this and what they discovered on Google Maps?
Well, nobody knows what it is. All we can do is speculate. But it's certainly, as some are calling it, sci-fi worthy. It's a triangular-shaped tower station that's been found, and it's now appearing on the maps, which if it's showing up on Google Maps now, it's going to be aged a little bit, but you can see a much better picture there as we put on the screen. That is the thing. Now, some people are suggesting, could it be like the new alien technology that we've just heard? People were speculating that's what Trump was referring to last night when we played those sound clips saying that we have new weaponry and weapon technology that nobody even understands and has seen before. So yeah, nobody here is going to know exactly what it is, except for the people that are there, that are building it and running it, and they're under so much secrecy. We'll probably never know, but it certainly is worth looking at.
It looks like it has lights on it. It literally looks like the walls of Star Wars, like the white lights on the side. What the hell is that? What if this is some sort of cannon? Or what if this is? Have you guys seen the film where Earth has engines on it and it's like propelling it through space, trying to get it away from the sun? It kind of reminds me of something like that. What if this is, what if it's an earth nipple? I mean, I've heard of third ones, sometimes they grow. Maybe this is organic. It just grew a nipple. I don't know. I mean, it seems very long, but it's not cold in Arizona either. So I don't understand it. But you could see the shadow could be deceiving because of the triangle. It looks like an obelisk, but it very well could just be a triangle tower. It could be some sort of thing for solar. It could be a light panel. I mean, it looks like one side of it is like a panel of some sort. It's very, very odd. What do you guys think it is? What is your best guess on what this weird triangle tower is on Google Maps? If you look here, you can actually see there's a better angle of the top. You can see these kind of triangle things coming out. Is this some sort of, it almost looks like a big giant space heater or something. What the hell is it? Or is it just a cool looking tower? Is it a statue? Is it something that they put up as decoration? How big is it? This is the circle is about 10 meters according to Google Maps. Now you guys can't see the bottom of the screen, but from circle to circle, it looks like it's about 13 meters. So this thing actually could be a lot smaller than we think. I don't know. Yeah, no. Let me see. Let me see if I can get a better scope for it. So it looks like it's maybe 20 meters, so 60 feet across. So that definitely could be big, six stories across, 3 stories the actual building across. So it could be a housing unit. I mean, not housing unit, but it could actually house people in it. Looks big enough to. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. And then U.S. moves Patriot defense missiles to the Middle East with dozens of C-17 flights. Now, we covered Bagram Air Base was taken over by spooks. And again, more of that is confirmed than not. And now, of course, the U.S. military shifted a Patriot battalion from the Indo-Pacific to the Middle East, requiring at least 73 flights, according to one commander. So something is about to go down. Something big is about to go down. You don't shift 73 flights, loads of Patriot battalion, and nothing is going to happen. This looks like this is final preparations for something that's going on. And if we're getting this, what kind of intelligence did they have that ended up having them put this there? It said the airlift was essential to protect key U.S. bases and partners in the Middle East, which otherwise are much more vulnerable than Israel to Iran's shorter-range missiles. Dex, did you read that statement? So they're not talking exactly about Iran, Israel. They're talking about other allies over there. So is this to make other? So you know how all of the other countries like Saudi Arabia said you can't use our runways for this base. What if they're moving these there so that some of those people that were afraid of Iran retaliating against them, what if they put these in countries like that and be like, hey, we need to use your base, but don't worry, we'll protect you, kind of thing?
Well, most certainly. And, we also have, I think we still have troops stationed in different areas throughout Jordan and in locations even in Syria, for that matter. We did as of last year, I think. I don't know how many are still there, but we were controlling certain areas in there. So, yeah, we could be protecting. And I know we also have people in Iraq, right? So we could be putting them there as well to protect our own soldiers.
You also have the Carl Vinson aircraft carrier strike group there. You have the Harry S. Truman strike carrier group there, carrier strike group. This could be used as leverage in the upcoming talks, which are tomorrow. I mean, if that works out, and we will know by tomorrow, or at least by Sunday, what's about to happen. So, again, this is something you really should watch carefully. I don't know if this is something you prep for, but it's more so something you do not miss. We all need to know. If they don't show up tomorrow, then it's going to be on like Donkey Kong.
There's rumors, Adam, that Iran originally asked to not even meet face to face. They wanted to be in separate rooms and have runners go back and forth between the rooms.
Could you imagine that, like a tennis ball boy or something? They would just have some shiny-faced teenager running back and forth. Like, oh, he says this. He says this. Oh, okay. He says
absurd.
F you. He says F you too. Oh, man. Yeah.
I mean, that's like the worst of the worst when it comes to, negotiations, is not even being able to sit in the same room. But no, that's just one of the statements that's out there. The other side, the White House is saying, oh no, they agreed to meet in person, and it's not like Trump's going to be there, but our diplomats will be there. Their diplomats will be there. Ayatollah ain't going to be showing up by himself, right? It's not like that. But the proper people should be there, and hopefully they will be in the same room to negotiate.
Yeah, well, a bunch of dips are going to be there, that's for sure. And let's see here. We've got a bunch of great people in the chat. We already have 1.4 watching. Thank you, Mock the Freak, Owen, Jason Smith, Coco Cams, Steven, Cheryl Liao, Yobi, Lower Class Citizens. It's a new mosquito repeller. Oh, as far as the tower? Yeah, that would be one hell of a mosquito tower. But you know, when you're dealing with Chinese mechanical mosquitoes, you got to take it up a notch. And then Hope Faith, Rochelle Cooley, Stevie J Blue, hi from Tasmania. How cool. And then John Thomas, nice to see you, Bill Morden, and Catherine, thank you. All right. And before we move on, make sure to go check out EMP Shield. Again, that sale that was going during the contest has ended. And if you didn't watch that Marfoogle News short, I would highly recommend going and doing so. But we did announce that the contest is officially over. So again, make sure to also go over and check this out, because that sale it coincides with it is the biggest sale they've ever done. Because you have to imagine all of the Liberty sale, it has our $50 off on top of it on every device. So 1 is 50 plus 20, so 72 is 100 plus 60, that's 160. 3 is 50 each unit, so that's 150 plus an extra 120. And then 4 shields is 200 plus 200. That's $400 off. You're essentially getting one of the best deals on an EMP shield that you will ever get. Again, marfooglenews.com/EMP. That's the same device and the same company that's helping agencies like DHS, DOD, and of course the DEMSO team helping protect the Texas grid. marfooglenews.com/EMP, and make sure to use code MARF. Now, Dex, we're going to be announcing the winners here soon. We don't have those yet, do we?
No, we don't. We're expecting to get them hopefully before the show ends, but it is late at night there, and this is a business company, so it's not like they're up late like we are, so on a Friday night. So I'm hoping that we will get it, but if we don't, then we'll talk about it on Monday. But if not, stick around through the show, because as soon as we get it, I'll break in and let you know.
Yeah, and who knows? We can probably throw something up on the weekend to tell you who the winners are. One lucky winner will end up getting $1,000 at the griddown.com store. Highly recommend going and putting that towards an XP or a Bug Out XP. Amazing solar generator that's going to come with EMP Shield protection. So, again, really, really awesome there. Just giant step up in capacity to almost all of them. Talking just an incredible unit. All right. And then thank you, Briar Patch, Chestine, and so many more. Okay, let's get back into the news. Again, the contest winners, hopefully tonight, but if not, in the next couple days. Panama, and that's only our channel, too. Remember that. Panama and U.S. lock in new security pact for canal as China tensions soar. Dex, do you want to go over this and what the hell's going on with this?
Yeah, so we actually signed an agreement. So in a press release that was posted, the Panama Canal Authority confirmed that Panama's Minister of Canal Affairs and Hegseth signed a joint declaration that reaffirms Panamanian sovereignty and outlines a new military cooperation. So the deal reaffirms respect for and the recognition of Panamanian sovereignty over the interoceanic waterway, but it upholds both nations' commitment to neutrality treatment and the legal framework that governs the canal operations. And it also has now a military component to it. It goes beyond that, lays out plans for cost-sharing models, covers services to provide U.S. warships and auxiliary vessels with the goal of keeping it cost-neutral. So obviously we want to not pay a fortune to send our ships through, but at the same time we want to have a greater position and control in that area, militarily speaking. And that sounds like what exactly was signed.
Yeah, I mean, so this is going to piss off China. For sure, we're going to see some sort of reaction from this. Of course, China has just retaliated. We just talked about that over on Marfoogle News with their tariffs are going back and forth. They're saying that now it's at the point where it is essentially a joke because it is such an absurd tariff that anything beyond that is like they're going to have to pay people to take things off their hands. So it's not looking good for U.S.-China relations, right? And then U.S. withdraws troops from crucial military base in Europe amid concerns over Trump's commitment to NATO. Okay, so do you remember what I said about weighing and what was the other term that they use? Every time they say that the U.S. is weighing options or that they are considering, every time they put that out, I said they're going to do it. Right? And it's the way that the media puts it when they have information from sources. And I swear, when they say, sources familiar with the matter, that's stuff that the government purposely puts out. That's the stuff that the government, because these aren't traitors, right? That's the funny thing is, most of the time when they get this information, if this was somebody just leaking it to the media, that is an offense. That's a serious offense. You can't just give out top secret information that hasn't been announced yet, unless the government wants it out. And that's why when you see the media when it says, we've talked to 4 officials familiar on the matter, they're either traitors or they're the messenger. And they're telling the media so they get it out there before. What I've noticed is when they say they're weighing options or when they're considering this is the way they put it in the media. Otherwise, they put it in another way because they're looking at legal ramifications of how they say it. When they say it like that, it's almost, 7 years of covering the news, I've seen it almost every time. And now, of course, the U.S. is withdrawing troops from crucial military base. The talk about it was 10,000 soldiers. Dex, how many soldiers actually did get taken out? The rumor was 10,000, and from certain bases. What did the truth ended up being?
This is a repositioning. So what they're doing is they're taking troops out of Jace. I'm sure I'm butchering that name. It's in Poland, and it's the location where all of our military equipment that was going into Ukraine would go through, because it's right near the border of Ukraine. So they're right-sizing that, as they call it, they're right-sizing it by reducing the troops that are deployed there in that location. I think they're getting redeployed in other locations in Europe, but basically trying not to have so many troops right there in that one area.
Which again, the area in question before was basically on the doorstep. So you're looking at, that we're supporting the most stressful areas of where Russia could possibly go in and try to take out. That's why this has been all in the news this whole week. And then top general says North Korea continuing weapons development, becoming more isolated. We just covered a few days ago that there were claims and photos of 1,500 Korean soldiers on the border of South Korea. Funny enough that it was almost the same day or the day after they formally announced that the president was not going to be coming back, Yoon Suk-yeol. And it's like, it seems super obvious to me what happened to Yoon Suk-yeol. They took that former president out because he was standing in the way of something. I think whoever got put in is a puppet, and they're probably a puppet for China. And I think that the U.S., Donald, and everybody else knows this. So I think that this is what they are taking into account, why all of a sudden everything is going on, with China, with everything, with Pete Hegseth and these announcements and things like that. China is ingraining themselves, and that could very well be retaliation for all the stuff that's going on with Panama Canal. That's my thoughts on it. Let me know yours down below. But during a Senate Armed Services Committee posturing hearing today in Washington, U.S. Forces Korea's commander testified that North Korea is continuing to develop its weapons program while growing more isolated. They say isolated, but it's funny because it seems like they are most definitely teaming up more with China. But in the coming year, we expect North Korea to further develop hypersonic and multiple independently targetable re-entry vehicle capabilities to complete their government's goals. What is their government's goals? That's the big question. And then he also said North Korea is continuing to build its nuclear weapons program, that the country boasts 1.3 million man army military force that is being equipped, modernized, and augmented by Russia. Think about that. If Russia did have them just at their disposal, if Russia made some sort of, promise to them, and China and Russia are talking to North Korea and saying, hey, you're not going to be a hermit country soon after this. That's an extra 1.3 million man army at their disposal. And they may not be the best soldiers, they may not be the most experienced soldiers, but they are cannon fodder. And that's 1.3 million people that they could use at the front lines just to basically give their own. That's kind of freaky when you think about it, Dex, that China and Russia could both look at North Korea as like a soldier pool, right? They could send these guys in where, they're going to go up against drones and just push the line. Almost like in the old days when they used to just have marching lines of men just, march towards each other and pop shots at each other. And whoever had more people and more bullets would win. I mean, now they're going up against drones and things like this. They're regular, really experienced, good soldiers. They're not going to want to send those guys in. They're going to want to send somebody like this in. What do you think, Dex?
Well, yeah, and I think that the other side of that is them putting them into the zone over there in Ukraine gets them experience, real world experience that they can then take back and train with, because they haven't really had much experience. Like, it's been a long time since they were at battle with South Korea and America for that matter. All of those guys are old or deceased at this point. So the troops that North Korea has are young, inexperienced. Maybe they're well trained there, but they don't have real world combat experience. They haven't done anything outside of what's inside their hermit nation.
Now, another comment here was that they are getting better and better at cybercrime, and that they also took $1.5 billion in cryptocurrency, which can be used, of course, to build whatever the heck they need to. I'm surprised, with cryptocurrency and things like this, it's like that does open doors that weren't open before. It's like before they would have to actually rob a bank, or they would have to do, some serious stuff to get money transferred over because they're in a country that's not connected to any of the central banks, things like this. They would have to actually have somebody in other countries to do that. With cryptocurrency, they don't need that anymore. And then we have in first, Estonia detains Russian. Dex, do you get what I'm saying with that? Like before, they have their black market stuff to get money and cash, and even they used to have construction workers go to like Mongolia, work for China. They would work 20 hours a day and then bring back cash to North Korea and have to give all of it to the government. Like they had all these different ways that they were trying to get money because they were cut off from everything. They're the hermit nation. But with crypto, doesn't that kind of open doors for countries like North Korea to be able to go in, steal money, and then put it somewhere and nobody knows where it is, or they kind of do know where it is?
Well, yeah, any type of valuable asset that can be obtained by them via theft and resold, yes, and crypto makes it very easy. It's very difficult for them to say hack someone's bank account and transfer, $1 million from a U.S. bank account over into their system without it being, intercepted, or even if it wasn't, being hauled back through the whole SWIFT system. So it's just not going to work. They are cut off. The only place they can trade with is China. That's the only country that trades with them, and Russia. But for the most part, it's been China for their exports. And now it's been Russia with military equipment. So the only way they're making money is stealing it. It's not like they've got a big GDP or a big trade route.
So would you would say it's accurate that since now we have crypto, countries like North Korea could do something that they possibly couldn't before?
Yes, absolutely. Because they've been able to, they were the biggest ones behind a lot of the, the lockouts where they would, lock down your database and ransomware, where they'll ransom you off and make you pay money, and that payment is always in crypto, right? So they did a lot of that. That's one of their biggest ways of earning money at this point is cyber.
So I didn't know if that was something that made sense logistically, or if that made sense, but that was the idea that came to my head. And then in first, Estonia detains the Russian shadow fleet. So Dex, when they say detain, I mean, they're detaining part of their economy essentially saying, stop, Russia's going to be pretty pissed off about this.
Yeah, exactly. This is a Russian-linked tanker. So it was transporting, some form of oil probably. It was what they call the shadow fleet. So it's in violation of Western sanctions. And it's the first time one of these vessels, at least for Estonia, has been intercepted and detained. So we've known about these. They track them. They see them from time to time. Some of them have been accused of dragging anchors, as an example. But in this particular case, Estonia has stepped up the game and said, hey, we're going to detain this. And they have taken over the ship at the moment. And that's kind of a big deal.
The tanker, identified as the Kiwala, was reportedly operating under the flag of Djibouti. So we'll see what ends up happening with that. And then before we move on, make sure to go check out Jace if you haven't already. If you don't have antibiotics right now with what's going on with China, it is a very good idea to get shored up. And if you are a prepper in every other sense, this is an incredible thing to do as far as have antibiotics on hand. It's a super easy service. You talk to a board-certified doctor through your phone, tablet, or computer from the comfort of your couch. And you can say, hey, doc, I need a kit full of the most commonly prescribed antibiotics. Done. And, oh, yeah, you have this add-on list. I need an albuterol inhaler. I need that stuff that Joe Rogan was taking, and they said he was friends with horses. They'll go, okay, sure. Boom, throw it in. So it is a great kit to have at home or at work or in your car. And then if something happens where you don't have access to a hospital, and that doesn't have to be an SHTF, it can be a regional SHTF for sure, like North Carolina or California or any of the big events where people did not have access to hospitals. Say you get a cut. That cut could turn into a death sentence if you don't have the proper medicine. Again, go to marfooglenews.com/Jace and make sure to use the code MARF. You're going to be supporting independent media. You're going to be supporting our channel, and you are going to be getting a discount at the top of that. So again, we thank everybody that goes through us for things like this. But again, even if you don't go through us, go get yourself food, water, medicine, and then protection. Whether protection be something like an EMP shield or a Beretta, whichever you choose, that's up to you. Should have both. And then Ukraine set to extend martial law again. Wow. Didn't see that one coming. No, we actually did. We all did. In fact, we just said it 2 weeks ago when we did the show about the talk about how they needed to replace him, and if they did, who would they put in the place of the guy who wrote and created and directed the show where the average Joe turns into the president? Oh, and starred in. Yeah, who would they replace Zelensky with? I mean, who is a good enough actor to do that job? I mean, you got to go to the Guild and their union. I mean, Dex, so no changeover yet, huh? Zelensky bought himself some more time.
Yeah, apparently they feel like, well, it's really hard to have a free and fair selection process when Russia is occupying part of our country. Because then how can we ask those people to participate when we know which way they're going to swing, right? Well, it's kind of the point on one hand, or, let that part of your country go and move on. One of the two has to give. Or, you keep status quo, which is what they're saying. Hey, we're just going to let it be. We'll just renew the whole, process that we have here for martial law, and nothing will change.
It makes you question, so this was brought up a lot when that Civil War movie came out. Of course, even in the previews, the first lines of the previews, has some news announcer saying third-term president, blah, 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 and the Western forces. And it made people think that the movie was trying to attribute that character to inspired by, Donald, right? Of course, Donald's on his second. Some people actually say this is his third, or should be his third, right? Because technically they believe that he would have been before, right? But what if we did have a martial law here in the United States? The same thing would happen. We would not have a new selection, that's for sure. And we would continue to have the same person. Do you guys see something like that happening here towards the end and the start of a world war? I mean, that's exactly what would happen here. It's kind of crazy to think about. All right, let me pop over. I want to say what's going on to the chat. Patriot 1964, thank you, by the way. Gene W. Gracia, Bill Fortenberry, thank you. Warriors of Ramuth, Rima Williams, Ghost Pepper, Kenny Crowder, Jamada 11, Bones and Tubbs Show, Troy O'Brien, thank you for the support this month. All Things Random, Olga Turan, Milosh Schaefer, M. Saint G, Jerry Shirts 99, Marine Apocryphy, Stephen Click, thank you so much. Stephen McMahon, Frank Walls, Callie, Devin Backus, and so many more. Thank you guys, including Random Clicker and Grace for you too. Thank you guys for being here. Bobby Sue, The Highway, Sean C, Jennifer Chamberlain, Goddess Thorn, nice to see you. And thank you, J-Pass, for being a member. Thank you, everybody that has made. Hey, Kurt Barksdale says, what's up, Marv? Hey, nice to see you. And nice to see Space Troll in the chat. So many more. Jennifer Chamberlain. Let's see. What does that say here? Why is it clicking right click here? Hold on. Oh, shoot. Pretty sure martial law will come sometime soon. Yeah. I hope not. And do not hope for it. By the way, there was a time where all of the people that were following 17 and all of that stuff that was going on, where people were wanting it. They were saying they're going to clean out the mucky area. And of course, they said, we want martial law. People like Able-Bodied who have been through martial law in Hurricane Katrina, if you haven't seen that call that she called in back in the call-in era, she told a story that would highly, highly make you double think that. Martial law is scary. Martial law is something that I hope we never see here in the United States. It is something where it's lawless, it's scary, and even the law or the military contractors, the people, there's corruption, there's all sorts of shady stuff that goes on. It is a scary thing. We do not want that here, ever. And I argued that back then when everybody was like, our entire community, people that were watching the channel were like, yeah, let's do it. We need it. It's going to happen, and they're going to clean out everybody, and everybody's going to get arrested. I said, no, you do not want that. It is a nightmare. I hope we never see that in our lifetimes. I really do, because it is a horror story after horror story after horror story if that happens. And to end on a lighter note, obviously the world is falling apart. We are the new Babylon. There's some funny things in here that honestly, it's like, it kind of makes your day. All right, let me play this real quick. All right, so.
America.
Right.
So,
yeah, Peter, I appreciate it.
Oh,
bird just landed on my head. What is going on?
America.
Right.
So,
yeah, Peter, I appreciate it.
Oh,
bird just landed on my head. What is going on? What was that about?
I did not like that at all.
Peter.
America.
Right.
So,
yeah, Peter, I appreciate it.
Bird just landed on my head.
What is
So, you know that's a bird that's like territorial. He's probably right by a nest. You know what's funny is all these news shots always look like they're straight up fake. Like he looks like he's on a stage or something. So I always think it's, obviously he's right in front of the White House. So there's some sort of territorial bird there. But I think Ducey cracks me up, but I think I told Dex before the show, he's the same kind of guy that if I saw in the bar, I'd probably want to punch. He seems like one of those frat bros that made fun of people. So, but the bird landing on your head, I know that bird taking a dookie on you, that's a good sign in Japan, I think. But I don't know about attacking you. Is that bad luck, good luck? What do you guys think? Dex, the first time I saw this cracked me up.
Oh yeah, it's pretty funny. I mean, it's rare that you catch that on live TV, and it was perfect. It was funny. It even came up in the press room. They and there's some pretty funny memes where they take, oh gosh, what's the press secretary's name? I can't remember it now. Her responses to it and him asking, and it happening to him in real time, and they memed them together. It was pretty funny.
Dude, if they could, somebody.
He wasn't in the press room though. They were wondering, like, did he get hurt? Was he hurt from the bird?
If somebody could do like a meme, like freeze frame it with the bird and have like Pelosi's face put on the bird, that would be freaking hilarious. For you meme makers, please make that. All right.
Just somebody look it up. Caroline Levitt. It's probably on X. I saw it earlier and it flew by. But Caroline and the bird and Peter Ducey.
It flew by. Good.
It was like a bird strike.
Look. That's a perfect shot. I couldn't get a good screenshot of it. It's hard. It could have been worse. Oh, that's real. That I remember that. That was in front of the White House? That wasn't in front of the White House, was it? Oh, that's AI. I feel like there was a hawk, it wasn't a hawk, it was like a bald eagle that attacked a reporter. Isn't there a video of that? That's funny. Yeah, man, people are too funny. We just talked about memes and over on Marfoogle News and their importance and of course, all the craziness that's been going on. So make sure to go watch that short. In fact, if you go over to this to the thumb over there over at marfooglenews.com, you can find a full bibliography for today's show and of course on the next show. So do we have the winners? I was going to ask you. We don't have those yet, do we?
I do not have them yet.
Okay, so we will be announcing the winner in the next 2 days. The 5 winners of the EMP shields and then the 1 winner of the $1,000 griddown.com, which is absolutely awesome. So make sure to go over and check that out. Let's see here. Thank you, Steve. I appreciate that. Thank you, Sarah. I appreciate your subscribing. Thank you, Kyle Campbell. Thank you for subscribing. Janet T. Thank you for subscribing. JF. Thank you for subscribing. Tony Obese, I think that is. Thank you. KD. Thank you for being a member. Thank you for joining. I appreciate that. There was a few new members here, so let me make sure that I shout them out as well. Let's see here. Let me refresh this. Coco Cam's new member. Thank you. Mark Schaefer just joined. Thank you. Or actually, I'm sorry, just hit the 2-month mark. We've got Gen X Ben. We've got Coco Cam's, Matt K. Thank you. Chrissy D, thank you so much. Joined today. Diane Moses, thank you. Chad W, Ben Dinnett, and Joplin Mike, Believer of the Word, Summer 432, Rain 13 Gaming, Jeffrey Verke, thank you so much for joining as a member. And then Wendy Rockford, 4 days ago. James Pennington, thank you. Jeffrey Starren, thank you, and Vicky and Demessi, thank you. And Firefly, I appreciate Firefly Farm, thank you so much. Dex, thank you for your service tonight. I appreciate you.
Much love. Great job, brother.
And Chrissy D, I believe you are a top supporter tonight. Thank you so much. Is there any? I don't think there was any badge gifters. I can't see that. Oh no, there is. Neil Nelson. Let's see here. Thank you, Stephen McMahon. So Neil Nelson and Stephen McMahon. Thank you, and thank you. I appreciate that. Appreciate you guys. Love you. Top supporter will be Neil Nelson, with number 2 being Stephen McMahon and number 3 Chrissy D. Thank you guys. Much love. Be safe. Be prepared. And Marf out. All right, you guys. Much love. Be safe. Be prepared. It is now time for the shoutro. It's not an outro. It's not a shout out. It's a shoutro.
Travel back